Hello, welcome everybody. We're here with our second gathering online with Jane Kennard. And we also have Joanne here with us, who's going to help moderate with some of the questions and people that we have that are going to come live and ask questions when Jane is channeling the spirit guides. So Jane, if you would like to just introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, and welcome. I'm Jane Kennard, a spiritual intuitive. I've been doing this for, well, actually 74 years, but I didn't do it for other people when the early years of my life. I hold circles, and this is all new to me, and I'm really excited about, well, reaching and talking and being close to people thousands of miles away. This is very exciting. And I have a wonderful friend with me here today, Joanna Pettit. And
hi, Jane. Wonderful to be here.
Hi. We worked together for years, and I'm so happy to have you join us. Hi to everybody who's with us. And Joanna, welcome.
So, Jane, I just wanted to begin by saying that you have been channeling or hearing the guides since you were a baby or a small child. Is that right?
That's right. I thought everybody had a being with them. I've talked to him forever. Of course, he doesn't have a sex. They always say guides don't have a sex, but to me, felt very much like a wonderful, gentle man.
So he
talked to me forever, especially at Christmas time. Tell me stories.
And this guide,
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'll stop when I'm finished and let you talk. I just wanted to ask, this guide showed you himself as a man. I know you used to call him the shepherd. Is that still how you think of him?
Yes. I suppose when I was very young, you know, when you've had something your entire life, you don't really question it or stop to say exactly who is talking to me here. And perhaps my family thought it was my imaginary friend, perhaps, but I didn't learn till I was about maybe 10 or 12 that other people didn't have this experience. So then I went quiet. I didn't talk a lot about it to other people, just, you know, with myself. Always, yes, he showed me like robes, and it was wonderful because at Christmas time when I would see the wise men, he would sort of intimate, well, that's sort of what I looked like. And to me, that was a kind and gentle being and easy to talk to. It was constantly talking to me and telling me when I would be in, I remember going to so many different things, and he would give his little sideline about, well, don't worry about that right now, dear. Eventually you'll know more about it. So it's just a wonderful comfort my whole life.
Yeah. And so you say that we all have spiritual beings with us. We all have guides with us.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Always one, sometimes many. If you're going through a difficult time, you often will have many spiritual beings with you, but always one. And sometimes some of them leave and others will join you for different things you might be doing in your life.
So I'm thinking that I'll just talk a little bit about the fact that you channel not just one guide, but many guides. You can channel a person's individual guides or one of the higher guides, the more evolved guides that you maybe like your shepherd, and some of these ones that are guides for everybody or for many people. And when you channel, you just close your eyes and allow the energy of the guides to come through and speak through you. And so that's what we'll probably be seeing today when Jane begins to channel. Did you have anything more you wanted to explain about that, Jane?
when I began doing readings for other people, I was not channeling at that time. I didn't even know what channeling was. I didn't do any reading into any of this. I was just doing my thing. And I had a dear friend I work with, actually, and she had a friend who had a terrible experience with someone, and I think it was a. And so she came to see me. No, it wasn't a Ouija board. She had a reading from a woman who gave her a bad news. Anyway, so I told the friend, "Oh, just send her over here for heaven's sakes." And I sat down and I just gave what I called a regular reading. I would hold a piece of their jewelry or something that they wore all the time, and I would do a reading. And my guide would tell me that I could speak with the other guides. So I did. That's what I did, and I would explain to them who was there and do that. And then after many years of doing that, I remember it very clearly this one night, and I was with a friend, and I was like, I couldn't speak. I get very, it's like I'm going to sleep. I was very, my lips would kind of be hard to move. And so I would stop the readings at that point and say, well, that's enough. I can't do any more. Until one night, this woman said to me, just go ahead, see what happens. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but she had a sense that something else was going to take place, and it did. I did that. I awoke to her sitting across from me, very wide-eyed, and said, well, I've just talked to someone named Thomas. And that was the beginning. And so at first I stopped it completely. I didn't like it. And then after a while, I was convinced that I should try it again. And through my guides, saying there's nothing to harm you. There's nothing in spirit that's to be afraid of. These beings only, when you open your heart and give a reading to someone, you open the love to them, and they're right there with you, channeling it through. So they're just simply taking over your body for a moment to speak to their person. So I did it, and that's how it all started. Now I find myself, I just go into that deep state of relaxation, and I call in the light and the meditation, and I hear my guide say, it's okay, step aside. And that's how I do it. Anybody can do this. I have seen other people do it. They will make their own path to finding it, but absolutely everybody on this planet can channel, can speak to their guides, can be in communication with them.
Well, it's something for us to work towards then. But meanwhile, we're very grateful that you will offer us this opportunity, Jane. Are you ready to bring a guide through?
Joanna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Clark is here with us.
Yes,
may I ask a question before Jane channel?
Yes, of course.
We have a question from Julie, and Julie asks, how can we find calm and peace for our own individual well-being when there is so much change? How Gen AI will affect our society, chaos and conflict happening in our world? Is the answer gratitude and finding magic in everyday life? I would love to hear what Jane thinks about this.
Okay. Hi, Julie. Thank you for your question. Age-old question, how to keep your mind when the rest of the world is losing theirs? It is to be still within, to take, it's kind of very simple. You might even tell a very young child, center yourself, be calm, take some deep breaths, sometimes some ritual that makes you feel comfortable, like, oh gosh, it could be as simple as counting. It could be as simple as making a cup of tea. It could be as simple as just 3 really deep breaths. And actually, some people that get very anxious, shaking it off, move the energy, go for a walk, move. The best way to get over some angst inside of you is to get that energy out of you. And that often is, I sometimes just jump up and down, just shake it off. And deep breaths, and know that you are in the light. I think it's trusting and knowing that there is an answer, there will be a calm, there will be a time for you to feel much more peaceful, and it is coming. Trusting in that, and look for it. Look for the miracles, look for the magic. Well, I'm talking with two people that see the magic in the world. Joanna, you're an amazing painter. You look for that calm in colors and forms, and some people might look for it in the ocean or in children, and look for the magic and find that calm within you, because you are needed in this world, and that is the best thing you can do. If you are calm, all those around you will become calm. And calm doesn't mean, sitting there not relating to people. It means opening to the peace and the words that can flow through you to soothe and help others.
That's beautiful, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
So at this point, Clark, are there any more questions?
I was also curious, Joanna, may I ask? There are some questions that are being asked in the live chat, and we had some that were sent in prior to the session that we'll ask when Jane is channeling. Mm-hmm. We'll ask those of the guides. But I was curious for myself too, that how can the guides respond to someone so far from Jane when she is hearing the guides and when she's channeling?
Well, I often worried about that myself. The first time I did a telephone reading, Joanna, you might remember it. I thought, well, I don't know how this is going to work. And my guide said to me, you're the one who has distance. We don't. So, of course, a different reality. But there is no distance with them. They are with you and with me at the same time.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so if you want to proceed with Joanna, unless you have any more to say.
No, if Jane's ready to allow the energy of the guides through, let's just wait, and we'll know when the guide comes through, because we'll see a new energy come, and I will talk to the guide.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Joanna, for being here, because sometimes you're so familiar with this. We did this for years together, that you might help people not realize that they can ask more of a question, or sometimes just take a deep breath and then ask again. Sometimes they just get hypnotized, as I've heard other people say they had a reading and they can't remember a thing of it. But it's really nice to have you here with us. Thank you.
Yeah, so what
Clark is taking care of all the technical stuff here. And hello to everyone who has joined us. I'm so happy to see you all. My love to you all. And so shall we begin? So I'm going to actually, let's just imagine that we have a circle and you're all here present with me. The circle is very vast and wide today. And I'm going to take you on a little meditation. I won't light this candle yet. Maybe I'll do them. Well, no, I'll light the candle first. And then I'll do it. Oh, no. Clark, the candle's not lighting.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Here we go. I ask in the name of the highest, the brightest, and the purest, for healing energy, for healing words for those who ask, and for all of us, not only those in the circle, but all of us. So let's set an intention. I want you to just relax. If you are watching, you can take a moment to close your eyes and just hear my voice. I want you to release all tension in your body. Take some deep breaths. In with the good, and out with the angst. Very good. Release it all. When you open to spirit, you want to be able to hear clearly and calmly, because they speak to you on more than just one level. They speak to you on many different levels. Your hearing sometimes will receive it, but many times it's your whole being, your receiver, your body, that will get the messages from them. That's what they're used to speaking to you with. Visualize a beautiful light shining over you. This beautiful light is the love of the universe for you. And as it shines upon your body, it relaxes you. It releases all tension, all fear. Let it flow over your whole being, down off your head, your shoulders, down your arms, filling your palms and flowing between your fingers. Let this light pour down your back, your chest, all around your hips, down your legs, your feet. You could feel the floor beneath your feet and the warmth of this beautiful light that holds you. You are one with the energy. You are filled with light. Now bring this light to the inside of your body, leaving some there, but like a giant sponge, I want you to suck it up, suck it in, up from your toes, in from your fingertips, down from your head. And the more you do this, the quicker it moves like quicksilver. Bring all the light into the center of your body. Circle it around and around your heart, the emotional center of your being. Now send it up to your brain, centering it all the light around your brain, opening all intuitive pathways and energies, right down now to out your fingertips and out your toes. Meet the light on the inside to meet the light on the outside. One complete circuit of light, of love. The questions you may have may dissolve in front of you, but you will still have a question within you. Please ask it. There's nothing to fear. These beings are only of love and light. They've been with you a very long time, and they only want to help you. Okay, I will go now. All right, Clark, everything good, Joanna?
Yes. Love you, Jane.
Could I have something to hold? I have to hold a ring, something that is from someone very close to me. But they are my anchor. I don't know. It's my own little thing. Maybe it's mine alone. But I do this in order to come back and be with you. I think sometimes I would like to fly off and never return, but I'm not going to do that. Love you all. I will talk to you later. Mm. Mm.
Namaste.
I greet you with the light.
Thank you for coming. We have questions from a number of people. Would you like to begin by talking a little bit about you and why you came?
Greetings, my lovely one. It has been a long time since I had use of these vocal cords. I came because I was asked, but I am not a great distance away at any one time. You see, that is all we ask, is that you ask. That you ask for help, comfort, information, a light to show the way. You ask, and we are here, always.
So we just ask with our heart or with our voice or with our thoughts, and you're there. Is that right?
Yes, my dear. You see, all beings that were with you communicate through the very energy that you be. We have not bodies as you do. We do not need them to manifest. Your body is it is your carrier for your learning path. Yes. Ask a question, my dear, if you have such.
Yes, I would like to begin with a question about, and you kind of answered it, about how the guides are able to help us, even though we don't know they're there. So we open ourselves to messages from the world around us, or from what comes into our heart. Is that right?
As you evolve, as you have many lifetime experiences, you will feel more comforting in asking openly, or sometimes less comforted asking openly. And that often, if it is in your heart that you feel the need to seek help and assistance with things, then you have the presence of a being with you. Now, if you want a complete and open dialect, it is up to you and that being to create such an opening, an avenue in which, and it can be through just simply symbols, knowing that they are there with you. Sometimes you want to actually hear a phrase or a word, or have a certain person show up in your life to be hearing the information back. But you can communicate in many ways. Most often, many of you use symbols and articles of different things that we are scanning the place, trying to find sometimes to create the energies to bring you all together. Sometimes you make it quite difficult. I don't mean you individually, my dear. I mean some beings make it difficult.
I sometimes
Not
use,
that different than your. Mm-hmm.
I sometimes use a pendulum. Is that a useful thing? Answer yes or no.
It can be, but it can be confusing as well.
Okay.
It's best to use something that does not touch your body. Your energies will travel in through it and pretty much determine how the answer will come out in a pendulum.
Well,
There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the answer you want.
Yes, I get it. Are you ready to take the question from one of the many viewers we have?
They are already. Yes, there are many beings present. Mm-hmm.
So
begin.
Donald? Can't hear you, Donald. I think you need to unmute your mic.
Back in business. Yes, I have a short question, but very, and I ask this question not in a religious context, but rather in wanting to investigate the physical nature of our world. And I ask, can you please describe the firmament that is mentioned 17 times in the King James Version of the Bible?
A very ancient book. Written a very, very long time ago, rewritten many, many times over. I believe about 7 times been rewritten. The firmament is the land, the land in which is formed out of the gases and the forms of the heavens, but they didn't understand completely what a planet was. How you yourselves all know this for sure. I'm quite sure in this age of your evolution that the firmament, the planet, is a sphere that is formed of gas and fire in the inside, still from the great release of light, and the cooling off of its crust, and the combination of the energies and the well, yes, there's water and rock and earth. Only soil only began after some time of its creation. At first, it was very different. Am I speaking too much about it? Is that what you want to know about the firmament, my dear?
Oh yeah, I want to know everything, everything about it. Is the firmament different from what we understand to be the dome, a physical dome over our planet?
Of course, what they were writing about firmament is just simply the solid underneath them. They did not understand what it is. You don't yet understand what it is in complete understanding of its creation and its energies. It is not too dissimilar than other forms you see in your planetary systems, but it does have a unique element within it because it has that supported the growth of vegetation and light. It had more elements in it.
Yeah, we don't have a
It's like
great
modeling clay.
Yeah, we don't have a good understanding of the dome or the firmament because all that information has always been withheld from us. But our world is moving into an era now of
My dear, I
disclosure.
don't think
Sorry, can you still hear me, Joanna?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Is the guide still with us?
Of course I am, my dear. It's fascinating to me. I know exactly what you need, my dear one. You are confused. You have heard many opinions and many attempts to understand all the amazing mysteries and wonders of this physical domain that you are present in your physical body. And some beings will experience a completely energized existence. Some will have a very, very physical existence. All depends upon the evolution of your being, what you are needing. For what your reality is, it's as if you are walking a tightrope between two worlds, an understanding of that was from the ancient and a desire to understand what that is not yet spoken of in your physical world. And it simply is a matter of understanding the different languages and state it, my dear. So your enforced confusion that you put upon yourself, and it exhausts you from time to time. And I want you to start being your own scientist, to go out into your world, barefoot in your world. It's the most pleasant world you are now dwelling upon, and walk amongst it in the different textures and the different forms, and start to internalize what it is and what isn't right for you. Listen to your heart, your truth center, which is very, very important for you. You are a master collector of understandings. You've come from many different lifetimes of this. And so you give great credence and honor to each being. You hear and give them their space to listen, which is wonderful. But you have left you out of the scenario, what is right for you. And know that no two people have the exact same understanding of who they be and where they be until they know who they are and how their truth truly is, my dear. Don't
Well,
give
it's
up. Keep working at being your truth.
it is in that walking of our world that you suggest that people are discovering physical archaeological evidence of things that we are told do not exist. As it pertains to the dome, there are people, scientists, who have actually held in their hand physical portions of the dome described as a sky ice blue made of plasma. So there is physical evidence of all the things that have been covered up, and we've been taught either it doesn't exist or it's just nonsense. So the dome is certainly one that I want to discover, not for myself, because it impacts our whole world. And as to do all these archaeological discoveries that we have no information about. I mean, I could list off dozens of them, but let's just perhaps focus on one. Say the Longyu caves in China. These caves are machine crafted, machine dug out in sandstone caverns. China has an impeccable history of recording their history. There is no evidence there is no recording in the history of those caves, yet we're told they not exist. So, if the powers that be are going to not tell us the truth, then we must turn to spirit and say, okay, well then you tell us the truth. If spirit doesn't, then who do we turn to?
Well, my dear, it's true. Your civilization is brand new. There are many men before you, and great deep layers within this firmament. If you were to just trust a book that was written 2,000 years before you and think that tells you the truth of now, how could that possibly be? And it's not that then anyone is trying to cover up. It has been covered up by time and evolution and the carbon dating. Well, the carbon first had to grow and to rot and to cover up all of these things before you. It's nothing that has been hidden, and you will find many, many things. It is very true. There have been civilizations that have lived in tunnels underneath you, and I don't believe anyone purposely tries to hide these things from you, but societies are set up with ways in which, well, let's face it, your history books are no longer truthful. They're not truthful in any which way. They need to be rewritten, and each being needs to write the history of their knowledge from what they have in their own writings. I mean, in each being, as in each civilization, their understanding. Then you put it all together. Is it necessary to know for your physical, spiritual growth that other beings lived in tunnels underneath your ground, that they had certain ways and modes in which to travel and to fly in which you do not have now? Is it necessary for you to know that for your spiritual growth? Not really. But you have found it out. And This is a wondrous thing, that there's much more yet to be known.
Yeah, well, for some of us, we do want to know that. And I think as our world as humanity is awakening, we are going to be able to individually tap into that knowledge ourselves. So the days of disclosure and cover-ups, that's coming to an end, but we're not quite there yet. So anyway, thank you very much for your answers. I appreciate that. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Jane.
Bless you, my dear. I love you. Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Do we have someone else with a question, Clark?
Yes. Hi, Donald.
Hi, Joanna.
Hi, Ruve.
I have a question about our young grandson. Like many others around his age, appears to be an old and evolved soul with so much knowledge and wisdom and the potential to assist and teach others. How can we nurture these young ones to foster a sense of well-being, teach them how to thrive, to maintain their high vibration, and to continue to be their own creators and feel empowered from within? They are the light of the future world, peace, compassion, and reverence for all beings.
Blessed One, that you do does affect the world. By being in the presence and with this beautiful, well, you call new being, I call ancient being. But he is young in form and very inquisitive. And the greatest gift you give is your time, your listening, and not necessarily answering all things, but an answer in a way that he will seek his answers for himself. An answer in a way that questions his knowledge of what he knows and how he feels, without being overdoing or over-obsessing in certain areas, because the child will have memories from past existence and a great understanding of his promise. That is his to learn and his to open up, not being quizzed by it or asked questions of it, but simply listen at that point. Let it unfold as it needs to. Being in a physical body is a very amazing thing, and this one truly enjoys it in every sense of the word. There is such excitement, but there is a worry that he is a little overexcited from time to time and has difficulty calming himself. That's where you come in, my blessed one. You teach him to find ways of bringing himself to a place of joy and happiness in times of frustration. Give him tools in which that he will soothe himself. It's not a good thing to get rid of all childhood quickly. Allow them their comforts. Allow them their certain things that brings them joy. There is much thought in your world now that the faster they grow up, the better it is. It is not the case. The stronger the allowing of a child to be the physical child, knowing that the ancient spirit is being nurtured and as if waiting, receiving all the energy and nurturing possible, that it is waiting for its time to come out. There is much not known about the physical and the spirit in the early childhood. Some beings actually seem as if the spirit sleeps for a long time. That's not the case with your one. This one is very awake very early. It usually doesn't occur until about the age of the 20s. There seems to be a need to go through all the terrors of the early life and teens before the spirit truly wakes up. But this spirit has woken very early. I believe you saw it right from the very beginning. Almost fearful when the eyes opened and looked at you, that they were being seen wholly and completely with all your foibles and all your wonder. And so love, but not overindulgence. Love is a strong and nurturing thing, which you know very well about. This one doesn't need a lot of other beings to be in his life to find out how to be, but a few very strong, beautiful beings. Does that answer your question, my blessed one?
It does. Thank you very much.
That's really lovely.
May I ask healing for you too? I love you, my dear.
Thank you.
So, Clark, do we have
So,
other questions?
we have 3 more people waiting to ask questions live. We have Kathy, Joe, and Jay, and Tej. And then we have some questions in the live chat and still a few more questions that were sent in. Could we bring Kathy Jo on to ask her question?
Good idea. Hello, Kathy Jo.
Yes, she is.
Hello, Jane. Hello, Clark. Hello, everyone. Hello. It's so exciting.
Yes, wonderful. And as you're speaking, a new guide is coming through to answer your question. So if you'd like to ask it, this would be the time.
Yes, thank you. I'm so overwhelmed at the opportunity. And thank you. I first want to say thank you to my guides who've been so ever present in my moment to moment life. Also, thank you, Jane, for your open and willingness to help us navigate all of these things. As you know, I'm estranged from my son right now. I want to have some advice. So that's my question. I am open to hearing from you.
My blessed one, I am so happy to use this little one's voice to speak to you. You have always been such a cherished being to me. I have always known your fragile, beautiful passion you've had for your world, that you've always wanted to do the very best, but had some difficulties and taken the opinions of others and judged yourself so harshly, my blessed one. I want you to know how much I love you, and I'm so happy to use this way to speak to you. And so, yes, with your lovely boy. Now, first of all, know that you're a good mother. You've wanted the best. You've had difficulties, but you've always wanted the best for him. And know that he's always wanted to be with you and to love you and to have your love. So you've got that already going for you. So what you need to do is always speak, always, whether it's communicating through what are these forms are that I get to speak to you with, which is very interesting, but through written, through words, through whatever way you can. And if you can't, use your words and open your heart and just think of him. Take the energy from the very heart of your center and surround it around him, and visualize yourself holding him in your arms when he was little or when he's age of he is now. And when you can, ask him for forgiveness. I know that's what you want, that you want him to forgive you, that you want to be the mother, the strong one, that at times have happened that were not what you wanted and not what he wanted. Be the mother, be the evolved one, the strong one, to say, I love you, please forgive me, and can we just be the light? You don't need to start over. It wasn't all that bad. The thing is, you just need to be now with him and trust that he's been hurt, that he's created all kinds of visions in his mind of what should or shouldn't be or what he needed, but let all of that go and be clear and clean with the must. Just always, even if you get hurt, let your tears flow. You're human. You're allowed to be in a body and have feelings, but the love that you have for this young one can come through your words and your heart, and he will feel it. Give him time, give him space, and let it be on his terms. But then you let him know how much you love him and you want to be in his life. And I'm so happy that I got to speak with you.
Thank you. Confirmation for sure.
Bless you.
That was
Thank you.
Thank you.
so wonderful, Sally Joe. That was your personal guide speaking to you. And
I feel it, Joanna. I feel it.
that's great. I hope that helps you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was ready for that confirmation. And so thank you. And I will return back with a report.
Good. We look forward to hearing from it. All the best
And
to you,
thank
Sally
you.
Joe.
Thank you for all of the support you all are giving to Jane. And thank you to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye, Kathy Joe. Love you.
Love.
So who's next?
Hi, Joanna.
Hi.
So we have, how about Jay? We'll bring Jay on. Hi, Jay.
I see you, Jay.
Hi. Can you see me okay? I can't get the...
I see half of you. It's always a bit tricky. That's good.
Okay. How's that? Oh, there we go.
There we go. So,
Um,
is there a question for the guides?
Yeah, lately the issue of trauma has been on my mind a lot. And I just wonder about the role of trauma in soul development, and how we seem to bring unresolved trauma, or how we carry it over from life to life, perhaps. And and we seem to hold people accountable for creating trauma, but it seems like it seems to be part of our development, and I'm just wondering how the guides see that.
Hello, my dear. I have to say that you may see it as trauma, we see it as friction, that it creates growth often. And unfortunately, the greatest growth seems to happen through trauma, but great growth happens through great joy as well, which is a different type of friction, but a very healing and healthy one as well. You are referring to past life wars and taking of lives, and have come into a world where you now have that understanding. So is the trauma with you, or is it just the understanding of what wars and angst and hate cause? You see, the actual trauma of being hit by something in the physical world and being remembering of something that occurred before are very different traumas. Though the cells of your body may react very similarly, that is true. They are of a different energy indeed. And so it's just part of life. There is no way we can stop that. You see, you are in an element, time in the physical world where fear is one of the greatest functions of living, which is unfortunate, unfortunately. And many are drawn to the fear because of past existences of trauma and fear. And any culture coming out of terrible wars are going to be led a great deal by fear. That is just what happens at this time. And how to neutralize fear. You're never going to get rid of it, unfortunately. It all started with the very beginning of the physical body, and how do we run from something that was going to eat you? So now you have to see where you are, be very conscious of where you are, stamp your feet, remember you're in the physical world you're in now. Now, if someone is trying to hit you and you are fearful of that, then remove it from that situation first. But if this is from a past existence, how to neutralize it is to visualize the occurrence of what happened and to know that it is not present in this life. So it puts it in a different area of your growth. It puts it into an already assumed but a sensitive area. So anything that comes up like it is going to trigger something. That's what they talk about, these triggers. It's just a super sensitivity. It's like scratching the scab off an old wound for you. In order to heal that wound completely, well, you won't completely. Even want to kill a fly, how could you possibly have killed a person? There's a part of you very fascinated by that. And so see that part of yourself, study that part of yourself. You have grown, you are a most magnificent being. And it was almost a point in which you wanted to have a hermitage form of life, and I'm glad to decide this instead.
I'm sorry, you said I wanted to have a hermitage kind of life, and yet I realized not to have this.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And it seems like in
It
some
wasn't
ways it wasn't. Right. Even though in some ways it seemed like it helped me to digest certain things that happened in previous lives. Yeah, I guess for me,
yes, my dear.
How would you suggest I just move away from some of the traumas I've had in the last 10 years? The only thing I can think of is just creating a space for less stress and more healing.
What a perfect idea.
Thank you so much.
So often we
I
have,
love you, my son.
so often we have the answers ourselves if we allow them to bubble up within us. But it's so wonderful to have the guides to just give that little push. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
So Joanne, we now have Tej. I'll bring him on screen.
Hello, hello, Tej. You're still muted.
Hello, I'm online now. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. Yes, I was wondering if the guides could comment on climate change and global warming. I'm wondering, there seems to be a lot of debate, and there has been for some time, between different experts and different people with opinions on, is this a natural process that the Earth is going through, or it's not, or man is greatly accelerating it? And then, of course, that leads to what actions we should or shouldn't take, or what actions we could take that would or wouldn't make a difference. And I was wondering if the guides could provide some information on this. And, you know, I wonder to what degree humans can currently try to, if anything, try to impact it in a good way. But I feel like I don't know the answer to that. Like there's so many different opinions. So whatever information the guides could share would be appreciated.
We have a new guide here.
Blessed One, your planet reflects the chaos that the society often places upon it. Your Earth is there to help support your growth, to magnify that you have yet to learn. So, nature, yes, it has been through different phases, different ice ages, different floods, different melting, tilting of axis, causing light to be in different parts, the amazing warmth of the sun to be changed by different ejecting of energy is best to say. You'd call them storms upon the sun, causes great chaos in the very electrical systems of all planets that it receives. It has in its grip. As to what is the society, the mankind doing upon the planet, everything that mankind, womankind, mankind, human being elements create has an effect on your Earth. That's every choice you make has an effect on your growth on your Earth. So all things that you make should only last for the time that your physical body should last on a physical plane. So you create things out of oil that you have found out of the dinosaurs or the carbon rot that has occurred in the physical world. This has found many ways of staying put way longer than it should stay. So these are things that you should think of. How long will your food waste last? Well, that's not to worry about. How long will your effect of buildings that are huge and weigh great amounts and cause different weights upon your Earth? Well, that even will not last that long. But there are certain things that you can do to actually destroy the physical planet, and that you should try to limit. You are limited singularly, but in large groups it can be done. But they all must be convinced, and that is one of the greatest difficulties you have in your planet right now, is for all to understand that you are one, but that each being on your planet is a separate being called one. Being one of one is the understanding, to care for the whole and your own being as well. This is the mission that many have, well, you all have, besides the very promises of your own spiritual growth that take you into another sphere of understanding.
If I think I struggle sometimes with, like, I can take personal actions, but sometimes I've considered doing some work in this area, and it seems I feel hopeless because, like, you talk about soul ages and the various perspectives and priorities that people around the earth have and understandings. And it seems like it doesn't matter what we do, if, as you say, if the world doesn't come together and realize it's one, that it needs to learn some tough lessons And therefore, I wonder sometimes, since I find it somewhat heartbreaking, the current state, to put a lot of time and energy, something that could make absolutely little difference. I struggle with that. Like, just as an example, sometimes I've thought, what if we all held the intention that the Earth would be at its optimal state of temperatures, of climate, or whatever? Could we have the ability to work with the Earth to get there? And I kind of think the answer could be yes to that. But then I also think, what's the likelihood of us ever coming to that point as a collective humanity? And it's probably nil. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really have a question there. I do, but it's just something to do with the degree to which to get involved with this more or not.
Well, my dear one, you don't have much choice, do you? Do or don't. Many civilizations have simply just disappeared because they didn't. It's not the first time the Earth has tried to get the attention of all in order for their spiritual growth to be manifest. You see, you're not separate from it. You are one of it, one of all. Perhaps an intervention on a greater scale than all of you could understand is what needed to get the attention. It was thought that perhaps a virus would achieve this. Not so. We'll see.
Thank you.
Bless you, my son. I love you.
Blessings.
Thank you, Tej. That's powerful information. A little bit overwhelming about the virus trying to help us with getting together, but obviously we still have work to do. Is there someone else who has a question now, Clark?
Excuse me, could I read out a few questions from the live chat?
Good idea.
So Cam, what can you tell me about my various guardian spirits to protect my house? And any message for me from Spirit? Thank you, peace and light, Kay.
Hello, my dear Kay. In truth, there is a being that dwells, but not a guide, in your home. It has loved it a long time, the land, the state of its energy. It is there with you. If you wish to communicate with it, you should speak out loud about your joy and your happiness, that they be present with you. There are beings in spirit that have always been with you and will always. It doesn't matter the need to protect, it's the need to be present with you. The protection is a natural given. All guides, all guardian beings of energy want only for the greater good and the greater growth of you. And you are a blessed being. You've always believed in the mystic and the magic, and that has helped you a great deal, for now it is a reality. Bless you, my child. You are loved.
Thank you. Joanna, we have a question from Lori Sue Cragen Clempt. And Lori Sue asks, she says, I apologize if my question is premature, but this year has been calamitous to include a cranial blood clot, still, my dog passing. I need to relocate to my own home. Will this soon transpire? Thank you.
The blood clot has dissolved. The dog is still with you in spirit, my dear. And going to your own home is where you make it, my blessed one. You've been somewhat separated from things, feeling very anxious about things, wanting very much to get back to what was. Blessed one, you are who you are now. What was then, and who you be now is a new and much more wise being. And know that you will create home where you need to. Take your choices and be the light that you are, my blessed one. You have much to do yet. I love you.
Thank you. Is it okay to ask a few more?
Yeah.
The guide is willing.
So we have a question from Ramona McKean. Thank you, Joanna. So Ramona asks, I'm having trouble writing something that addresses our world in evolutionary crisis. What guidance can you offer me, concrete or otherwise? I want to be as effective as possible. Thank you.
You want to write about your world and you want structure and concrete. That's very interesting, my blessed one. Your world is as unstructured as possible right now. It ebbs and flows, it changes. It's very, well, all beings, you see, their purpose is to find their own truth and to own their own reality and create that they need for their life and create a society that accepts all beings, that does not sit in judgment, but sees the wonder of the difference and the wonder of being, and how to honor an earth that has given all and held no matter what, or has created some chaos in order for great growth to be. She's the great mother to nurture and to give forever. So how do you write that in concrete words? Well, my blessed one, you're pretty good at writing things. Try, but open your heart. And always, if a word becomes too heavy and too much of an obstacle, then that's one of your amazing beings telling you, change that word, surround it in love, and move forward. Bless you, my dear. You are loved. Do not limit yourself. Do not put iron bars around your thoughts, your being. Allow yourself freedom to stretch, to grow. You have plenty of time. Time is an interesting thing in your physical world. Some of you are angry, and some of you want it to pass quickly, and some of you are launched way far ahead instead of being in the moment that you are in. It is an element of learning for sure, but best to do with time is to embrace it and to be present in the moment you are in.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from someone calling themselves Peace. And Peace says, greetings, Jane and guides. Any messages for me?
If you are giving the world a message by using a name of peace, I would know that you would want to create peace wherever you be. But often you hide. You go backwards instead of forwards. Often you hide your voice when you need to speak it out loud or share it with others. Share your peace, my blessed one. Bring love to your world. It was interesting what you spoke of earlier by the fact that the very auras that surround you, the energies that surround each of you, holds who you are and how you be in many lifetimes that you have walked through, fought against, or embraced. That aura that surrounds you is a great, wonderful way to communicate without words, but you have to be present with others for them to see and hear your history, your being, your reflection. Do you not all want your reflection to be one of peace, of light, of love? So if you think it and hold it in your heart, it is spoken all around you. I love you all. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh. Okay. Oh dear. That's fine. Oh, the lights are so bright. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When I first come back, the light is very bright for me. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Sorry. We'll work out some of these things. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Joanna. Are you still here? Yes. Clark.
I'm still here. It was very
Yes.
interesting what the guide said about being present, having to be present with other people, and then how we communicate with more than our voices, but with our, they called it like an orb or an energy around us. I wonder, and I think it's true, that it is possible to communicate that way, even through this medium, even through this, an internet kind of way of doing it. It's quite amazing, really is. And yeah, for when Jane comes back, maybe we can ask the guides to give some kind of a signal so that we can get that candle covered so it's not going to be so bright when we first come back. Maybe have a secret word or
Yeah, it's not just the candle. I have these other lights. Yeah.
I know.
Maybe we could ask them to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you
all,
for being here, Joanna. That's great.
My pleasure. So I guess do we need to do any wrapping up before we end this? Are we all still connected, Jane?
Yes. Yes. Is it okay? Clark's giving me sign language over here. Thank you. Yes, you're right, Joanna. I have to do a
Yeah.
No, it's good. You're good. You're right. You need to help me because I'm in La La Land. So I'm going to do a little closing, an intention of love, and a little, it's not really a prayer, but wrap you up and send you all off. Okay?
Yeah.
I ask that all that was received with love and the intention of healing, that as you go from here or from wherever you are in your homes, that the circle stays with you, that we are all connected, and that bond will never be broken because it is a bond of love. And as you go out into your world and your days, that you extend the love and the light that the spiritual word has for everyone. And as Joanna will remember, we used to say at the end of a time together, I would say, don't sign any contracts, don't operate heavy machinery, and bless you all. And I love you. Namaste. Bless you all. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, everyone. Love you all. You're in my heart.
Thank you, Jane. Until next time.
Until next time.